Good morning. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the impact of AI in auto sales. It's a conversation, it's a topic that's come up just a ton. And I thought I'd kind of delve in there a little bit and talk a little bit about what is the core of our decision making process. So, we used to say that sales was driven or product purchases were driven by a want or need. But when we also dig into the deeper part of the psychology behind that, we recognize that there's kind of two silos of decision making when it comes to buying things. We've got our really small, big purchases, and then we've got our small purchases. So the small purchases I like to call transactional, meaning that it's just a transaction. It's very much like if you go through Starbucks and you buy yourself a cup of coffee, or your favorite coffee shop, when you go through there and you ask the person for your coffee and they give it to you, it's just a transaction. It really isn't dependent much on the relationship that we have with one another. Although if you can go to a place where you feel comfortable and it's a place that you enjoy and it's somewhere that you want to support, then that's always a bonus. But then there's also what I would consider to be the collaborative process. So what I mean by that is it's a much bigger purchase. So it might be the purchase of a business. It might be the purchase of a piece of real estate, or in the subject matter we're talking about, it could be the purchase of a vehicle. And I want you to think about that $6.50 coffee that has a significantly smaller impact on your fiscal reality than spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a vehicle. Now, having said that, if we spend $6.50 on our favorite coffee every day, at the end of the year, we've spent $2,400 on our morning coffee. Now, you might say that that is an investment in your joy because, like me, maybe you love your coffee every morning. But the reality is that you're taking it in bite-sized pieces, that $2,400. So when you say it's an emotion, it's an investment in joy. So in other words, you get that coffee and you enjoy that coffee. It's an emotional decision in the long run. So I ask myself, are all of our decisions emotional? And do I need to have a human interaction to be able to purchase something? Well, unequivocally, the answer is no, because this morning, I ordered a screensaver from Amazon for $2.50. Not long ago, a mere 36 months ago, I would have went to my local telecommunications company and I would have bought the screensaver and they would have put it on for me for $40. So I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to spend any money on gas. I don't have to waste any of my time. It's going to arrive here and I will have to put it on myself, which will take me just a few minutes because I've become quite adept at that. So the human impact on that is pretty small. But what if I'm going to make a difference? I'm going to have a human impact on the decision to buy something or spend a lot of money on something, i.e. an automobile. And so I think a lot about that. So when we think about how AI might change the reality and the future of our purchases, you can think about the idea that could an algorithm or could I somehow be influenced to make a decision a certain way? And obviously the answer to that is yes. And if you're not sure about that, just check your news feed on your favorite social media outlet, and you'll discover very quickly that you can in fact be influenced by the algorithm, by the AI tool. And as we think about this, we think, well, how quickly do we scale this up from buying a screensaver to buying an automobile? And the reality is we could probably do it, but there's a few caveats within that. And I think some of those caveats might make the point moot, or at least we could take some actions that may or may not have that be relevant. And what I mean by that is that I obviously know that I can go online and I can click and I can do whatever I need to do and I can actually order an automobile. But the reality is I'm going to need some fail safes. I'm going to need to know that I've got a good quality product. I know that I've got to be able to have a seamless return policy, which could be challenging with a purchase of thousands and thousands of dollars. I need to know that you're going to warranty the item, the product, and that in that warranty, I'm also going to have some assurances that you're going to take care of me. And so I need to be able to get good reviews from other people who've purchased these items. And in that is going to give me the assurance that I can go ahead and make this decision to buy this vehicle online. But I think, as I said, I think we can make the point moot because there are some great tools out there. But you have to think about what is the plan right now. Well, obviously we have it's not going to change. As I say, the manufacturing and the transportation is going to essentially have to stay the same. It's going to be built somewhere and it's going to be transported somewhere else. So what we're really talking about is the distribution network. And the distribution network as it stands is a dealership and a salesperson that connects with a customer and influences their decision to buy. And that presumably is supported by the manufacturer. So I know that locally I can get financing, I can get the vehicle itself, I can get support as far as service. I can trade in my old vehicle at a price that I deem to be fair, which would be another one of the caveats in being able to do it myself. And so my call to you today is, how about if we elevate this and we offer a much higher level of service and we do it with integrity? Because generally they're met with disappointment and manipulation, if we're fair. Not all the time, obviously, but in a lot of cases. And it's one of the reasons why they push back and they start to look for this alternative source. So I believe that we can use the AI tools for knowledge. We can use them for better information for the customer, that we can improve our own personal skills so that the automotive sales going down the road and in the future can be robust. But if we don't, it's going to become a cottage industry that's a quaint reminder of something that could have been or should have been or once was. So we can utilize these tools to help the customer and to help ourselves. But if we do a good job, chances of it replacing us are slim to none. Have a great day.